So, another Ramble video. It was kind of hot today, even though 2 days in a row we've had hailstorms. Last night we didn't have a hailstorm, but the temperature rose, and I'm pretty sure people will look at this and be like, damn, that's some lazy video making. There you are in bed, but I get a lot done before a lot of other people even wake up. And I don't really need to prove it. I could, but I feel like I've proven it to myself because I've lived it. And as such, I guess that's the source of my unending ego. I couldn't tell you how many videos have been made about me and sent to me in the last 2 or 3 days. I've had my mind on other things. It's at least 6 different videos made about me. And I haven't really given them as much attention as I think that they want from me. But I can tell you that I was in a conversation with a friend of mine. Mind you, I do have friends, contrary to what some people say. Like I've ran out of all my friends. I'll get to that again in this video. But I was talking with a friend of mine, and we'll call him JJ. Okay? Because I don't want trolls to go bother him. We're just going to call this guy JJ. And JJ had to... He had to say to me that I am better than the kind of person I have been lately. I have let people drag me down into drama, and that I'm so much better than that. JJ thinks higher of me than I would expect someone to think of me, I think. Because I do think of myself as a human being. But JJ doesn't like drama. Doesn't like drama videos. He likes some of my other work. And yeah, both of us have some really constructive, fruitful endeavors that we're a part of, and both of us have been a part of drama on YouTube. And he said to me this, well, the first example he gave to me was somebody who would be his Dramaholics Anonymous sponsor, I suppose, told him that you are the average of the 10 people you hang out with the most. And lately, I have changed the 10 people that I hang out with the most. Even over the course of the past year, I have had quite the change, and I think the point of looking at it that way is to make yourself be the low man bringing down the average, and try to associate yourself with people greater than you. Because if you are the high man in your average, and all the people that you associate with are lower, your average, which does make up you and how you are seen, is far lower than what you can achieve on your own. And what you'd like is for people to see you as being greater than what you could actually be yourself. So, yeah, that was part of his pitch, that I need to be more drama free. And then, and this kind of dates us, he gave me the analogy of war games with Matthew Broderick. And in that analogy, at the end of the movie, the computer starts playing different games, and then it switched to thermonuclear destruction, which was actually, in reality, it was tapped into all the nuclear warheads, and it kind of ran simulations, unending simulations, and then it finally came to the conclusion that it's a good game, thermonuclear destruction, but after running all the simulations, the computer came to the conclusion that the only way to win the game is to not play. That's the way to win the game. And JJ, he believes that when you play the drama game on YouTube, you lose. It's kind of like that meme, The Game. Every time you think about the game, you lose the game. And so I was balancing that sort of lesson from him against some of my own feelings. One of those feelings being that some things had been done to me that on principle I don't feel like letting go of. Like, I don't feel like being the person that would ever just ignore some of these things that have been done. Yeah. And JJ just kept on saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like an absolute kind of thing. You know? Like, no matter what it is that I am saying, I am making an excuse to make another drama video. Even if my excuse is a really strong reason, all it is another excuse to make a drama video. And if you are going to try to rehab yourself from drama, then you need to quit latching on to reasons. Now, if I were to look at this through the war games analogy, I kind of see part of my country in the war games game as being already scorched with a nuclear weapon. And you have the opportunity to not push the button that would scorch your enemy. You could say, well, yeah, my country has lost 100 million people, and yeah, that was bad, but if I continue pushing the button, then the entire planet is going to be dead. What else? I do notice of all the drama videos that have been made recently, there are some similarities between them. Now, I had someone tell me that it's a little paranoid to think that people are talking with each other. They're like, paranoid much? I'm like, yeah, lately. Kind of. I'll give you that. But when you see similarities in videos that are made about you, it's just a logical, question that arises in your mind. Are they talking to each other? I would think so. That it's just logical to ask that question. Not to assume it, because you have no evidence of it, but one of the things that I've seen as a theme. What? Damn. Allergic to mornings. One of the themes I've seen is the theme of calling me a bully. Now, I'm not going to affirm or deny that I would think that I am. Just think that I'm a human being. But it strikes me as odd that some of the people who say that I am a bully have also repeatedly told me that I have no friends, or that I have no friends left, or that nobody's watching me here on YouTube. It reminds me of actual little kid bullies when they say, ha ha, nobody likes you, ha ha, like, it's a facepalm moment, where people say that you're a bully and no one likes you. It's like they've just become the monster that they set out to fight. I don't mean that as an insult to anyone. It's just an observation that circling the wagons and a coordinated effort to make videos about someone and tell that person that nobody likes them, it is what it is. It's like if there was a checklist of what people could do to be considered a bully, like if there was a definition, it had a whole bunch of different things that bullies do, I would say that there's a lot of people here on YouTube, myself included, that could check off a whole bunch of things on the fucking list. It's like a prize fighter getting into a boxing ring and accusing his opponent of punching. You're a boxer, aren't you? I don't know. But on the front of where I get a lot more attention on my channel, I would say those people that have less than 1,000 subscribers and might feel betrayed by me because of something that I said, they are not as loud in my inbox as the people who felt betrayed by my pointing out problems with the Ron Paul campaign a couple of months ago. Now, some of you might remember a video on my channel where I asked the question, is Ron Paul quitting? And I told people, yes, I'm a delegate. Yes, I pledged to Ron Paul as a delegate to the State Assembly. if you were to look at all of the people who were running for national delegate, which I didn't win, you could see that they were either pledged to a candidate beforehand or they were unpledged. Now, when I say in a video that I am a Ron Paul pledged delegate, and then I say, is Ron Paul quitting? A lot of people were like, how can you be a delegate for Ron Paul and then ask that question? You know? Well, here's how I can do that. First, I was a delegate, and I pledged for a candidate to be honest about who I was going to go for, instead of having to tell people all the time, oh yeah, that candidate that you like, that's the person who I'd vote for at nationals. And then two, I saw a pattern of how politicians pull out of races. When Rick Santorum suspended his campaign, he was still asking people for campaign funds because he had spent himself into a little bit of debt. Now, when Ron Paul's campaign announced that they were not going to campaign in states that had already had, or that had not already had their primaries, I saw it as one of those signs, you know, where it looks like they've made the decision, and that is the first step in telling the public is, oh, we're running into a little bit of a speed bump here, but still keep giving us money. And we're going to have these money bombs, you know, and send money because it's the candidate's birthday or the candidate's kid's birthday. All of these things I've talked about on my channel before. But people got really upset that I would pledge my support to a candidate, but also question the candidate. And in forums on Facebook, especially, I had fights with Matt Holdridge, the campaign director for Ron Paul for the state of Colorado, where I called him out for bullshit. I got thousands of views on the video on my channel, saying, it seems like you're running a campaign to not win, or to get money from the other candidates by selling your delegates to other candidates who will in turn sell them to Mitt Romney. Like he did with the Unity slate by putting Rick Santorum candidates on the Unity slate with Ron Paul and Rick Santorum and springing it on people at the last minute. When I called him out for this deception, the sheeple in these forums were like, how dare you call into question his motives, you know? And when the truth came out, and Matt Holdridge, Jesse Benton, even Rand Paul, when he announced that he was going to endorse Mitt Romney just 2 days ago on Fox News, when all of these people sold out Ron Paul, I was like, yeah, I told you, you know. But for the longest time, people were like, you traitor, you backstabber, you know, how could you, you know, ruin what work that they put into this campaign and this plan that was, you know, it took months for it to hatch, where they would, you know, make a unity slate and try to get our delegates, and they traded support for some Santorum delegates to get votes for us, for our delegates, and they worked for months on this. And I'm like, no, they could have won the entire fucking state assembly, and they didn't because of that plan. You know, Rick Santorum had pulled out of the race by then. His delegates had no one to vote for except for Gingrich, who looked like he was already waffling, Paul, and Romney. You know? And between Paul and Romney, Paul looks like the more conservative. So they would have gotten their votes any fucking way. You know? It was, from the beginning, a way to funnel support for Ron Paul into Rick Santorum delegates so that the Rick Santorum delegates can then be sold to Mitt Romney. And I'm pretty sure money trickled down through the whole chain of corruption. And for a while, people actually felt like they had a choice, that their grassroots efforts made a difference. But in the end, corporate money won out, and Mitt Romney will be accepting the nomination in Tampa. And Ron Paul, after having his own grandson, Jesse Benton, who was running his campaign, after having him announce that he's never going to have the delegates to win, there won't even be the spectacle that I expected, which would be all the Ron Paul delegates holding their own meeting on the outside after creating so much of a shitstorm inside. You know? That's what I was, getting the popcorn ready for August 20th. That would have been awesome to see. People expressing that they are not happy with politics as usual. But that's not going to happen. Or at least I don't think it will. If they do that, then they'll probably, not even film it because it's moot now. Even today, in the forums that I joined to learn about these people that I fell in with when I decided to become a delegate, this liberty movement, even today, there are people saying, it's not over, we haven't heard it from the mouth of Ron Paul. And it's not over, Jesse Benton is a traitor, Rand Paul is a traitor to his own father, and they treat Ron Paul as if he were some sort of messiah figure. And I recognize this myself after observing Christians for a good portion of my life in my country, the way that they treat Jesus Christ as if he is going to return. And anyone who says, hey, wait a second, he said he'd return in his life, in those people's lifetimes that he was talking to, and then he didn't. And they're still waiting, Anybody who says that is a fucking heretic. That would be me. And for me to say that it's over, throw in the towel, there are still people in these forums who believe that everyone around Ron Paul has sold him out, but Ron Paul is still blameless in all of this. And that Ron Paul will continue, and if it's not Ron Paul, like physically, the movement is not dead, and somebody else will carry the torch. And I don't know who that other person is, because they're raking Rand Paul over the coals right now. But I really do think that there are a lot of parallels between Christians waiting for Jesus and being true believers and thinking that one day he's going to come back, and they're just waiting, you know, and they have their hopes up, and anyone who tells them otherwise, anyone who tells them, hey, maybe you should look at this evidence we have over here to the contrary, you know, anybody who does that is a heretic, you know, and yeah. So I had Godless Manitoban. He suggested to me that I make a channel for Ponage and for drama, like Agent of Drama, and that is not going to work for me. I can tell you that not only is it not good for a dramaholic as far as trying to leave drama, it just gives you another way to do it, but I have put drama on other channels, and when people respond to it, they say Agent of Doubt. They don't say the name of the channel that the drama was on. They immediately just say Agent of Doubt. Even if I only had a part in it, I will get the whole blame because I'm the biggest channel. So, if I were to do drama, I could not put it on a channel called Agent of Douchebaggery or something like that, because it would come back to this channel. There's no way to have drama with the same people and still have your main channel be not associated with that drama. See what I'm saying? It has not worked. So yeah. And here's a little weird side note. RezenatorZen, he asked me a question if AdSense required me to verify a PIN and do a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to say yes. They did. In fact, I had to look at 2 different bank deposits in my account and put some numbers back in. I had to get a PIN in the mail. It was a long process to get my AdSense account up and running. But I can't tell RezenatorZen any of this because he has contact lock on. And contact lock is, I don't know. I guess it's like friend lock before. But I can't, even though he sent me a message, I can't send him back a message. So I just said it there. If anyone knows RezenatorZen, tell him that I said yes. And as far as the workings of YouTube and their system right now, I have a video on my channel which teaches people how to block channels that are trolls who private their channel, and then as soon as they make a comment to you, they delete it. We all remember Tommy Parkey used to do this to people all the time. Ogith used to do it to people. I don't know what trolls these guys are experiencing, but they're finding my video on how to block invisible channels. And there's a new problem. If anyone makes a Google Plus account and then makes a YouTube channel through that, they're the channels that have the word salad, number names that are like 50 characters long, or they have a channel name where it's two words and there's an actual space. It's not an underscore or anything, and they can get away with that. Those channels are impossible to block if they private the channel and they want to write you a message and then delete the message right away. And the reason why is when you go into your contacts in your address book and try to add that channel, if you use the word salad or even their name and then space and then the next word in the name, either way, you cannot add that with the contacts portion of your inbox in order to select them and block them. So this new layout system and integration of Google Plus has taken an answer to a problem that I had before and fucked it. Because now these trolls that used to fuck with us, and then we figured out how to get them to quit by taking away their means of fucking with us by adding their names to the contacts and blocking them that way. They can now be completely unblockable, and you will get messages in your email inbox if that's how you check your YouTube. You will get messages from them, and they'll be able to say whatever they want to you as much as they want. I've got a team of trolls right now commenting on my channel page, saying things half in the style of Ogith, but half in the style of some person who knows German, which I don't know German. I haven't bothered to translate whatever the fuck it is that they're saying, but it looks like German. But, yeah. Looks like somebody made two channels that are connected to each other just for the purpose of commenting on my channel page, which nobody fucking looks at because you have to dig pretty far in this new layout just to get to where the comments used to be. And who fucking cares what comments have been left on my channel page? Really? Oof. Like, some of the people who are watching this video are going to go look at my comments on my channel page, and they're going to have to figure out how to get there first, but they'll find it, and they'll probably think the same thing, like, why even fucking bother? And that's what I'm saying. Why fucking bother? Comments on the videos themselves, people are much more likely to see. And if you want to say, die fatso, I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 that's the place to put it. Because it'll be seen by more people, trust me. Belly's getting flatter. Not enough. I'm not a hard body by any stretch, and it is summertime. And the girls are out wearing next to nothing, and on some streets here in Colorado Springs, it's enough to give you whiplash. See a girl and you're driving by and you just go, wow, ow. Anyways, this has been pretty much a 1 on the drama scale for Dramaholics. I don't think that there's much in the way of damage that I did, but I feel like my weekly rambles that go on for fucking ever are a part of my channel. And I might talk about different things, and I might bring up drama in them, but it's a catharsis for me. That's why I do it. So I know I feel better every time I upload them. And I've got other channels that now nobody knows about, where I have started anew, and I have separated the drama from what I'll be doing on those channels. But if I never tell anyone that those are my channels, and I never announce it there that this is a channel that's associated with, then I think I can actually have drama on one channel and have content on another. The only way to do it is if nobody knows that the two channels are connected. That's the only way to pull it off. If anybody knew that the channels were connected, they would pretty much just address the channel that has the most subscribers in order to get themselves more attention for calling out drama themselves. It's just the way the world works.